Welcome back to the Spoonie Stitcher channel. I'm Shannon, the Spoonie Stitcher. You're inside the stitchery, and I'm very happy you're here today. This is part of our beginner mini-series. Today, we're going to learn the single crochet.
This is your chain. At the moment, because of how it's placed, this is your front loop, this is your back loop, this is your back bump. If you saw my tips and tricks videos about this is where I like to do my foundation row. Why? Well, let me get a little closer. There we go. I want to make my life a little bit easier when I'm gonna finish it up and do a border. It just makes it look nicer. But I will teach you both ways. So either way, you're going to skip your first chain and you're going to put your hook into the second back loop, technically. So it should look like this. You're going to wrap your yarn, catch it, pull it through that loop. You now have 2 loops on your hook. Again, you're going to wrap and catch. Now you're going to pull through both of the loops. Congratulations. That is a single crochet. Let's do it again. Into the loop, wrap, pull through the 1 loop, 2 loops on your hook, wrap, pull through 2 loops. One more time, then I'll show you how it's looking. In this loop, pull through the first loop, pull through 2 loops. Now, there's my yarn needle. There it is. Okay. Every one of these, hold on, my yarn's in the way here. Can edit that out. All right, so this whole thing is a single crochet. These top parts here, these little V's, maybe I can turn it so you can see it like this. Okay, so every one of these little V's is a stitch, except this one where the loop is still, it's still a loop. You don't count that. So just count these 3. So this is a stitch, this is a stitch, and this is a stitch. You have skipped the first stitch. So let's say you chained 13. Okay, you're not gonna have any more than 12 because you've skipped the first chain. And that's okay, that's what happens. Normally what you'd want is your project would be 12 stitches across, but you would make an extra chain, and that would be called your turning chain. That just makes it a little nicer on the edge here. See, your chain is right there. It just makes a nicer edge. So that is one way to do it, and you go across and you continue until you get to the end. How I prefer to do it is, now this can be a tiny bit tricky, but hang on, okay? It's worth it in the end, in my opinion. So you still skip this little chain right here. You still skip that. You're gonna turn your chain over, and these little bumps that just stick up on the back, these little things, I am having trouble holding this today. Okay, these little things right here on the back of your chain, that's what we're gonna work into. So it can be a little tricky, so just have patience with yourself. Pause the video if you need to. So we're gonna stick our hook. Sometimes it takes a little bit of finger effort. Stick our hook into that bump right there. And then we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna bring it through, have 2 loops on our hook, wrap and bring through 2. Okay? We're gonna do that again. Here's the second bump right there. Stick your hook in, 2 loops, bring through 1 loop, 2 loops, bring through both loops. Here's the next bump. bring through 1 loop, bring through 2 loops. And you're going to do that all the way across. I'm going to do it with you. Okay, so it should look like that. But why is that cool? Because your bottom now looks like that. These are really easy to find when you make your border. You can stitch into these real easy. Plus, it makes a nice flat bottom. So if you're making coasters or placemats or anything that's flat, washcloths, it just looks really nice. So here's the next bump. See? See the little bumps? Here's your next one. And this may be a little slow at first, but you know what? I think it's worth it in the end. Here's your next bump. Remember, we're just going through the 1 loop. We have 2 loops, and then we're going through both. So we go in the bump. We wrap and bring through the bump. 2 loops. Go through 2. See? Even I struggle with it sometimes. There we go. Bring through 2. So see how that's looking? Isn't that pretty? Okay, we have now 2 left. So the next one is normal. Let's go through the bump, pull through. Okay, your last one, sometimes it's tricky to see it. So this is the knot. This is your knot that you made at your beginning of your chain. So you don't want that. You want this right here. That is where your hook is going to go. Like that. So here's my knot over here. Here's my bump. Okay. Bring through 2. All right, so you've made 1 row of single crochet. So how do you count them? Well, the little V's, I'm just gonna pull that out. Okay, so the little V's at the top are a stitch. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's how many I have. You may have chained more or less. So how do you start the next row? Well, remember what I told you about that turning chain. So you're just gonna wrap and go through this loop, and you've got a chain. Then you're gonna turn your piece. And that is a little turning chain. That doesn't count as a stitch or anything. It just helps you turn. So where do you go from here? Right here. You want this V on your hook. You're going to go through 2 loops from now on. So stick it in here like this. See, let me open it so you can see. Okay. Wrap, pull through that V, 2 loops on your hook, wrap, and go through that. Okay, let's do that again. We're gonna go through the V, we're gonna pull the yarn through, 2 loops on our hook, wrap, and pull through 2. Go through the V, wrap, pull up, 2 loops on your hook, wrap, pull through 2. Go through the V, pull up, 2 loops on your hook, wrap, go through 2. Okay, I'm gonna let you finish the end of this by yourself. Now, you can stop when we get to the last stitch if you don't know what to do. So I have 2 stitches left, here and here. So I'm gonna go through the V, pull up a loop, 2 loops on my hook, go through 2. All right, your last stitch sometimes can be a little tricky to see. Your last stitch is right here. So you have a V, it's right there. It's not this thing. This thing is the turning chain. We don't want to do that. We want to go in this right here. You see it? I'll even use my eye so it's bigger. There. That's where you want to put your hook in. So, and on the side it looks like this. Okay. Now, you now have 2 rows of single crochet. This little line down here is your foundation row. This is your first row, and this is your second row. This is a stitch, and this is a stitch. So this little 1, 2, and a little crossbar kind of thing, that's 1 stitch. Below it, it looks funny on the other side. On the other side, it's bar, bar, crossbar here. So you can put your needle right there. You can see this is a stitch and this is a stitch. So this is row 1 and row 2. And that's the single crochet.
It's that easy. Hope you enjoyed the video today. Please stay tuned. The next video is the next stitch. So whatever stitch. Hope you enjoyed the video today. Stay tuned for the next stitch. You never know when I will put up a new video, so turn on those notifications because you never know. Thank you for joining me today. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Yarn Zebra family. I'd love to have you. Remember, life happens, yarn helps, and spoonies can stitch it up too. And so can beginner spoonies. And spoonies can stitch it up too. Goodbye.